now we should be live. But yeah, the plan for today's stream is going to be a little bit different than before. We aren't going to be trying to work on progression, like upgrading our hacks and vacs more. We are going to skip that entirely and just start actually working, or take a look at the incinerator in main hub, because I feel like this could be somewhat cool. Yes, yeah, the stream's a little late. I will say right off the bat, this stream might be cut short. I've been having issues with my internet recently. Like, just stuff not working. Every minute or so, I'd lose around 15 seconds of internet. So, if the stream does just end early, it might be because the internet is just making it unwatchable or unplayable. Hopefully that won't be the case. I will try to make sure, or there's really nothing I can do about that. But I'll try to make it interesting at least. But the plan for today's stream is going to be taking a look at the Incinerator as a free-to-play player, seeing how good it is, seeing if we can't get any of the cool stuff in here. And yeah, I haven't really played on this account since the Incinerator is added, so we're still sitting at Incinerator level 1 with 0 XP. So it'll be interesting to see how hard or how easy it is to actually go ahead and upgrade this for a free-to-play account. Wait, did GhostSim update? GhostSim has an update every 2 weeks. Last update was last Friday, where it added the Incinerator and a new boss for the Lucky Eyes Rebirth perk. But yeah, every 2 weeks there's an update. Sometimes they're bigger than others. I think the one before this was smaller quality of life, more focused stuff. I don't even remember at this point. But yeah, so far our internet has seemed to be working pretty good, so maybe I was a little bit too paranoid about it not just working. But hopefully it keeps up. I don't know what the next perk is going to be. I don't really have plans for that yet. Anyways, I think to start off with, now that we are live-ish, let's go ahead and start with burning some of the items that we already have. One of the things I want to start with is antenna parts, because we will be losing those, and then other items from main hub, because we won't be needing these. Even if we go ahead and rebirth, we'll lose all these anyways, and they aren't going to be super useful for gum, since we already have a decent way to go get more glitchy gum if we need. So all the stuff that we get from main hub, we'll go ahead and burn, see how much... Oh wow, we have a lot of ancient tusks. See how much exactly we do get in terms of flames. So 17,000, not too much flames. But yeah, with that we can go ahead and buy some crate keys. And then since we are now out of stuff to buy, we'll go ahead and convert some to go ahead and get ourselves up to Incinerator level 2. For those of you guys who don't know, you can upgrade your Incinerator level by using gems. This wasn't originally in the info box here, so I understand for people who missed it, but you can go ahead and convert some gems, or some flames to gems to go ahead and get some Incinerator XP. It is a worse rate than just straight up buying items, so if you have the option, you're better off buying items than going ahead and converting, but it still does give a pretty good option for getting XP, especially when you run out of stuff to buy. That being said, we can go ahead and now also buy Wild West boss chests or gum loot bags. I think we're going to go ahead and start. Isn't too bad. Alright, there we go. We're back. Yeah, okay. If the viewing experience gets too bad, I am going to end up adding the stream, but there we go. But gum loot bag, we'll go ahead and buy a few wild boss chests to go ahead and upgrade our Incinerator up to level 3 really quick here. There we go. And now Yeah, now we start getting into where it starts to take a while to get levels. I think we're going to go ahead and buy the rest of these boss chests. I don't see any reason, since they are pretty cheap, to go ahead and not buy them. Now the question is, I think if we buy 2 of these, we'll get ourselves up to Incinerator level 4. Yes, we do. Now we have access to a few more stuff, including lava loot bags. Unfortunately, we are out of flames. I think we'll go ahead and convert some more items, specifically the ones from the Ghost World, since I don't think I'll be needing any more of these, and Ghostly Gum is kind of... Yeah, I've been having really bad internet issues for the last week. It's been really awful. So I was kind of expecting it to be pretty bad when we actually went ahead and tried to do this stream. I wanted to go ahead and see how it worked, but based on the amount of internet issues I'm having, I wouldn't be surprised if this only lasts an hour or so of a stream, just because it is pretty bad at watching quality to just watch a video bot for everyone. To Incinerator level 6 to see about getting up to Enchanted Gums. This is just off of a viewing experience. I am so sorry, people. Might just have to end this stream like super early if that's the case. But yeah, I think our goal is going to be to go ahead and get up to Incinerator level 6, or try to at least, so we have access to the Enchanted Gum, because this is a little bit cheaper than converting stuff to gum in some respects. And I think to do that, we'll go ahead and buy 2 lava loot bags. I'm just trying to debate between a key drive or 2 lava loot bags. I think a key drive is probably more helpful for this account. And yeah, now that I have that bought, I'll buy 1 more key drive, and I think now we're going to have to go grind some items, which shouldn't be too bad. It's literally getting 0 kilobytes per second on OBS to YouTube or whatever. So for anyone having issues, that is me. I think I might just not do this video today, or this stream today. It is bad. I will go try a little bit of grinding. I want to go do it in Remnant Zone, just because there was a little bit of a buff to Remnant Zone item drops, and it is kind of the best world to go out and do it in. With the possible exception of maybe Backdoor, if you can get more ghosts vacuumed in Backdoor than you can in Remnant Zone. But the drop rates in Remnant Zone are better per ghost on average. So, unless it really makes up for it in Backdoor, it's going to be pretty bad. But yeah, I think with how today's stream is going, this is probably going to be a 30-minute stream before I give up with the internet, because pretty much it's been like this for the last week or so, where every couple minutes, couple seconds or whatever, the internet just stops working. It feels like there's like a wire somewhere upstream of my internet that's just kind of broken, and it hasn't like adjusted for that or anything. And it's so every time it tries to use that to transmit some internet data, it just kind of, everything just stops working. When's the next update video? It's whenever I edit the video together I made for the last update. I'm working on it. I was working on it a little bit yesterday. I was a little bit busy with some stuff this week, so not too much of a surprise that I haven't been able to get around to it. But yeah, that should be hopefully coming out after this stream ends at some point. Why do people try to get 17 rebirths? It's 17 rebirths of a single tycoon. So it's, that's where I think 17 comes from, is the ideal tycoon amount. Because after you get 17 of, like, let's say Remnant Tycoon, it then becomes better to start alternating a tycoon with a Pet Evo. So you get 17 tycoons, and then you do Pet Evo Tycoon, Pet Evo Tycoon. I think that's where 17 comes from. I don't know why people specifically get 17 rebirths in general. I do know that there are 3 permanent perks, so, and then I don't know after that. if you're going for a Tycoon, the best Tycoons are going to be Bit Tycoon or Remnant Tycoon. Ideally, I would say Remnant Tycoon's better, but Bit Tycoon has the benefit of you not having to grind to the end of Remnant Zone every time you want to grind gems, which does actually make a difference for a new player. That being said, really the only reason to get a Tycoon is for grinding gems, and you're going to need to get somewhere around 5, 10, 20, 30 rebirths worth of that before you can actually go ahead and grind gems effectively. So if you're only getting like 1 or 2 or 3 rebirths maybe, sometimes Tycoons aren't even as good as some people say they are, especially now that there are other ways to grind gems in some respects. In a previous update, gem drops from ghosts and whatever, and gem drops from chests were buffed so that they can actually give a reasonable amount of gems. So if people want, they can go ahead and use those instead. It's not the greatest. You're better off, like, consistency-wise getting currencies and stuff. But if you grind, like, enough items to get a Rift Gum, you can actually pretty easily get a few billion gems for some classifieds that way from, like, just a single gem chest. Or you can also still grind bosses and grind for a Rift Gum. It's now an effective way to do that. There's a few more options than before. It isn't just... It isn't just the only option you have being the Tycoons to go ahead and get gems. How many rebirths should you get? Depends what you want to do. If you only care about, like, seeing all the content, I would say only go for 3 or 4 to get the permanent ones, or divines, and or maybe a few Tycoons if you wish. But I would say, yeah, go Master Hunter, Ghostly Vision, Lucky Eyes. Those ones everyone should go ahead and grab. They're nice and fun. They'll help quite a bit. But if you want to get more, if you want to go get rebirths for gem grinding, go ahead and get somewhere between, as I said, it really depends on how much gems you want. But the ideal path is getting 17 Tycoons and then alternating that Tycoon with a Pet Evo. I would say somewhere around 15 to 20 rebirths is where you should aim. This is assuming you have game passes, because without game passes you need like 4 or 5x that amount to get the same amount of progression in the same amount of time. So really depends where you're at, what you want to do. I would run the numbers with like your pet stats, like multiply or add those together, multiply it by, or divide the amount of gems you want to get per like hour or whatever. Like, let's say you want to get 1 billion gems per hour. Figure out how many gems per hour you get right now with your pets. Like, do like 5 minutes of grinding or whatever. Then go ahead and see how many Pet Evos or Tycoons you need to get for that, and then get that amount. No, I haven't actually played Minecraft. I looked into trying to get the mod set up, or the world set up, the mod set up for the world that I was wanting to do with the new Minecraft world. But I was running into issues of the thing I was looking for Ultimine is a mod, not a data pack. There is a data pack for Vein Miner, but it only applies to veins of like coal and other ores like that, which I don't think was what people were expecting. And I don't think I can do a mods onto the realm, so that will be unfortunate. Actually, Cloudwave, Chromafloat, and Nebula are not too much easier to get than before. Even though, like, the new Lucky Eyes boss does give some, like, crown keys, it's going to be faster to get crown keys from doing bow boss, just because of how the rates work. But yeah, does provide some other options, which is definitely something that people have been asking for, especially with like the limited supply of like boss drops. You can actually go ahead and grind a limited amount of boss drops without actually having to do the boss. This is probably most helpful for something like Blockspite HQ and the like Great Guardian, not as so much for the crown keys. But still, it does provide a better option for people who didn't want to go ahead and grind too much of that stuff. Can you explain about the Lucky Eyes perk? Lucky Eyes gives you access to the Lucky Cat, which is just a ghost that spawns on a minute respawn interval. It has spawns set on the wiki, so if you really care about finding where it will spawn next, you can just go look it up. It will drop a single lucky loot bag no matter whether or not you have any game passes, boss drops, loot gun running. All those, it'll still only drop one. So it's a very free-to-play friendly grind if you want to go ahead and grind for a Lucky Clover or a Lucky Cat pet. You don't need to actually have the game passes or whatever that you generally need when you're grinding for boss stuff. In addition to that, in the last update got added a Lord of Luck, which is a boss that spawns in the Void, which sort of makes up for the fact that Void is just completely empty of Lucky Cats despite every other world having it, and just kind of empty in general, so it provides a pretty cool thing. But yeah, it does function similar to Ghostly Vision in that it does reveal new pets or boards. Or, no, not pets or boards. Ghosts or bosses that you can go ahead and vacuum. Thing is, it is a little bit less useful than Ghostly Vision because Ghostly Vision does provide those additional bosses that can help for Yoko, and also bosses are just a lot cooler than a single ghost that spawns randomly. Oh, today, I missed this message. Today we'll be working on looking at the Incinerator from a free-to-play perspective. Right now I'm just grinding some items to go ahead and convert for flames to just basically show how much we can get as a free-to-play player. I think that being said, we're going to go ahead and stop now, sell with an XGum, because I do kind of care a little bit about having some remnants, and then fill up the pack one more time and sell with the XGum again. But once we're done with this vacuum, I do want to hop back to remnant or main hub to go ahead and convert all the items that we have right now to flames, and then convert those to gems, or not to gems, but convert those into some items to go ahead and see how cool that is. Yeah, my internet's been really bad for the last week or so. Basically, every few minutes, few seconds, it feels like sometimes, it'll go ahead and freeze for a couple seconds to a minute, and then just stop working. I was debating on... But yeah, my internet's been acting up like this pretty much the entire week. It was a pain to do pushing out updates because every time I'd open a new world, it was just being super slow. It's awful. I have no idea what's going on. No one in my family knows what's going on. Froze while talking about the stream freezing, yes. I think this is going to be a shorter stream than usual, probably like an hour or so, depending on how bad it really gets. It hasn't been too bad right now. I haven't actually crashed. I've been playing some games sometimes, and the internet's so bad it just says you're disconnected or whatever from Roblox, so... Hasn't happened yet on this stream, so we'll probably go until either I decide it's unplayable or maybe it'll fix. Is it Ghost Sim a cooking video? I am not one person that cares too much about meme videos like that. I care more about informational stuff. But that being said, they're making them good meme items we got. I think we probably around 50% more items than what we started with. So I'm going to say about 50% of this. Now what someone has been saying, and I think we're going to do it, is actually saving some of the items here, since enchanted 10 parts you get more of and they sell for more. Is using like enchanted 10 parts, since they are less gum per enchanted 10 parts compared to like key sets and crystal hearts. Someone else mentioned this. I didn't think about this when I was designing the system, because I was balancing it a different way than looking at the item drops individually. But is save your T sets, crystal hearts, other items, other enchanted loot gum, and as you guys can see, this is the frame rate we're running with. We'll see how it works. But yeah, that was about. Interesting. Because that was about 6 minutes of grinding, and we get about we got like 6,000 from that, so that's a lot less than you'd, I think, ideally get. We're running at like 1/8 efficiency or something stupid, which is kind of low. Alright, we're going to go ahead and buy a key drive just because we do have enough flames for that, and I do like to make myself some key drives. Yeah, I have no idea. This stream is going to be so scuffed because of my internet issues, so no idea why it would go super well. Okay, actually, I'm so sorry for anyone watching this later. It is going to be an awful stream to watch later, or even right now, it's pretty bad. The one good thing I will say is that I haven't been having too much lag issues for whatever reason. I don't know whether that's a good or a bad thing, but I've been noticing too much of like my computer actually like slowing down, so maybe I'll just curse myself into that actually now being the case, but yeah. Actually, yeah, I'm gonna hop into a private server just to get a little bit more ideal grinding conditions. I want to do like a solid 2-minute grind of this. I would probably have to stop the stream to actually make that consistent, because right now I do lag quite a bit, even ignoring my current internet issues. Even without that, while streaming, there's quite a bit of lag. Yeah, no, the internet, it's been an issue. I was debating on not doing the stream today, but I figured I'd at least try to stream, see how it worked. And based on current, it's actually not too bad. It isn't like I've straight up crashed yet. But yeah, it's pretty bad. I'll probably go for a minute or an hour or so, 30 more minutes or so, just to get a little bit of content-ish, a little bit of a good look at it. I do want to get up to Incinerator level 6. I don't think we have enough time for that, because I think I need to go spend around 100,000 more flames for that. Oh wait, that's not supposed to happen. Ah. Okay, there might be a current bug with the shop system. I don't think it will affect too much because still the stock's resetting, but yeah. It does appear that the system I am using for setting up shop items is not treating different days correctly. Actually, it's doing fine with these. That's good. But yeah, let's go ahead and go back to Remnant Zone. I want to do a little bit of grinding for some items. Internet seems to be doing fine still. Yes. Whatever. I'll get it patched probably next update. It's kind of a bad bug since it does mean that your stock for the item rotations differs, but honestly, I'm not too worried about it. It is still pretty harmless. If people can buy different items instead of the ones that are supposed to be in rotation, they're pretty similar items. It's not like the shop is resetting every single time and people can buy infinite 100 cost crate keys or anything like that, so we'll see. I want to go set my teleport to Crypt. I think this spawns us here, and then I want to go ahead and use... I want to try to use a maximum enchanted loot gum to see what we can get item-wise from this. I feel like a lot of the people who talk about how bad the Incinerator haven't really done the math to see how many flames you get per hour or per minute or anything like that. Like they say something like, oh wow, crate keys cost 37.5 thousand or like 5,000 or something, and then they don't realize that you can get over 7,000 flames per minute. And so like 5,000 flames is, for a crate key, is actually a pretty good deal because that's less than a minute of grinding for, okay, to be fair, that is with 2 times items, but it's still a fairly good deal, especially same thing with like the boss drops too, like a minute of grinding for some boss drops. I think the most expensive is the block spike key for 40,000 in there, and like even that is around 5-6 minutes of grinding. So 6 minutes of grinding for a block spike key versus 15 minutes of grinding for a block spike key. Yeah, you do have boss gum, but math is a lot closer than people say when they start complaining about the prices. Alright, so we're getting about a quarter of what you people maximal get for a minute, or for 2 minutes, I guess. In terms of ectoplasm, we're getting around 50 billion ectoplasm, which is fine. I'm a little bit laggy. Don't have the best Wi-Fi there. But yeah, from 2 minutes of gum grinding, I do want to go check what we have. I'm expecting this to be around 4,000 flames or so. Yeah, I mean, you can go convert for gums. Like, the gum machines still work perfectly fine. But you aren't getting crate keys from the gum machine. So. And I mean, there's only, like, after you get over 1,000 gums, of some of those gums, like, half the gums you just get is useless, so. I don't know. At least with the incinerator, you get items that you'll actually use, rather than converting to 1 billion gum and getting useful riff gum, boss gum, maybe lucky gum for some people. Alright, I want to see how much are we getting. I have no idea how many crystal hearts we had before. Alright, let's say assume we got 50. Okay, we're getting a little bit less than 4,000 per minute or so. No, that's 4,000 per gum, so that was 2 minutes. So we're getting around 7,000. Yeah, no, that actually makes sense. Because we are grinding around half efficiency just due to lag. And then we are half again because we don't have 2 times items. Yeah. That about adds up. Alright, so because I think we're going to go ahead and grind for another. We need to spend around 15,000, so we need to grind for another 5 gums or so, so another 10 minutes worth of items to get up to the next incinerator level. Yeah, that's not too bad. But the internet issue is definitely something I'm going to try to get fixed sooner rather than later. It is super frustrating. I'm just hoping it's not a hard. Yeah, I mean, that is 25 hours. I mean, are you expecting Rift to be cheap? I think that's. I don't know exactly how much it is with normal gum grinding. The idea is it to be a little bit easier, or probably should be even cheaper. I know if you grind it with the RNG, you do get a lot of bonus stuff like boss gums and whatnot. So there is that argument to be made, but yeah, the idea is for it to not be super cheap. The thing is, it's a lot easier to make stuff cheaper in shops like this after it's released than to make it more expensive, so. Alright, that's 2 gums. We'll go ahead and use a couple more just to try to get there. But yeah, the goal right now is getting up to Incinerator level 5. I don't think this actually unlocks anything because we don't actually meet the rebirth requirements for it. Yeah, okay. Honestly, I'm gonna be honest here, I haven't really done the math on how much rift gums per hour people get. Or even boss gums per hour since the original drop rates and like backdoor, so that's more of like a my bad moment on balancing, to be honest. Again, stuff can be made cheaper later if I actually go through and run and do the math on how much rift gum does take to get. I just strictly haven't done it. But yeah, based on that, it's probably should be closer to like 10 hours per enchanted rift gum. Worth of flame grinding just based on the fact that you do get those extra boss gums or whatnot. But yeah, I really haven't done math again on the rift gum rates since backdoor drops, because that was the last time it was useful to have rift gums. They really haven't been useful until now, so yeah. Yeah, that's called loot gum. You use loot gum and you'll get 2 times items that drop, and that way you get 2 times more gums when you convert. But yeah, I know when Flames came out, people were suggesting a 2 times Flames game pass. The issue with that is that there's already 2 times items, and I feel like a 4 times increase from free to play to pay to win from just game passes gets to be a little much on Incinerator, especially. Maybe it isn't. Maybe that is actually balanced. I'm assuming other games have that same thing, but yeah, there's already 2 times items, which give you 2 times more items, which effectively gives you 2 times more flames, so I don't know. That's my opinion. My opinion is to not have too much multipliers that stack multiplicatively with each other, because it just ends up becoming like a huge balancing nightmare for Ghost Simulator, which one of the things I like about Ghost Simulator is that it doesn't have this insane balancing spiral like other games where it's like, oh yeah, every single area you get, you'll get 1,000 times more currency, and now all this previous stuff that you did, that was all kind of worthless, but yeah. I've been thinking about adding gums to the incinerator at like much worse rates than just straight up converting items to flames. I think that's actually a decent idea for the future. The thing is, right now I didn't want to add it right as it came out, just because there was more stuff to balance and whatnot and to think about. But yeah, definitely in the future, adding it for gums or whatnot isn't actually a bad idea, I think. I've been thinking about balancing gum in some way that would make it a little bit more interesting to have gum so that people care a little bit more about how much gum they can get. And I think step one of that was introducing the incinerator so people have a different use for their items, just in case people, just to provide another thing, see if that helps at all. But yeah, gum, I've had a few thoughts flowing around on balancing gum. I'm not set on any of them. I do think they all have kind of issues right now. Like one of them, for instance, is adding a cap to the amount of each gum you can have, like 100 gum of each type. And then anytime you convert for more over that, automatically converting that gum you would get into like more gum of the types that you don't have the cap of. Basically to make it so that you have, like if you max out all of your bunny, X, vacuum, zoom, nitro, you'd get more loot gum sort of deal. Like not too much, but slightly better rates, but then also decreasing the amount that people have stockpiled in inventories. I think that one has some major issues with like people that have stockpiled up gum, stockpiling gum for like rebirths and stuff, so I'm not set on doing that. That I think is a bad idea wholesale, but it's something I'm trying to come up with a good idea for, is balancing gum so that it isn't like, because right now it's in a weird spot where a lot of people like loot gum. People have thousands, hundreds of thousands potentially. I don't know how much the most person has loot gum wise, so it may not be 100,000, but definitely thousands or tens of thousands of loot gum, and other people's have zero. It's a bit weird balance wise. But yeah, I don't know. I do feel like balancing at some point. I just don't think it's a huge priority, and some of the ideas I have are pretty bad for it, so we're not going to go chug into it. One of the things now with the current gum system, I could, in theory, increase the make it so that you can use multiple of the same gum. Now that you can pop gum, I can make it so that you can use like 20, 30, 40, or okay, multiple of the same gum at a time, so you could use like 4 loot gum and then grind for 8 minutes. Obviously, it's going to be worse than just using each of those 2 minutes individually, because it gives you a little bit of time to refresh after using a 2-minute gum. Where am I heading? I'm heading to the incinerator. But it is something I've been thinking about adding, is the gum stacking time-wise. It does have a few issues, like, for instance, if you use a boss gum or you accidentally use an auto-clicker while over a boss gum, you can end up using a lot more boss gum than you intended to, which is definitely a downside. Okay, I think this should be enough. Do I want a lava loot bag or a crown key? Man. Okay, I do want to convert. Okay, I think I'm going to go crown key and then a crate key. And I do need a little bit more for this. More like 80. Okay, that's my bad. Alright, there we go. Now we're up to Incinerator level 5. We don't actually unlock anything because both of these two things that do unlock with Incinerator level 5 do also require us to have 2 rebirths, which we don't have. The main goal 30 or 20, 40, 60, 100 minutes of grinding, so that's about 2 hours for us to get up to Incinerator level 6. Like, that's not actually too bad. I do. Okay, there's the crash. I did say if we crashed, I would kind of stop the stream because that does indicate it's kind of a bad viewing experience. But yeah. Adding burning gum is something that would only take me like probably an hour, maybe 3 hours if I actually balance it properly to go ahead and add. It actually isn't that difficult of something to do. Auto use is something that would be a little bit harder to add. I don't know if I like the idea of auto using gum. That's an interesting point. Maybe, you do have a point about that, Keys. I really haven't been aware of this, but I do see how having, like, adjust for that. Okay, we crashed for the second time. I think crashing for the second time is a pretty good indication we should probably just stop. But yeah, I don't know if there is an elegant way to solve the inventory key issue, because you are definitely right that is sort of an issue. I guess maybe there could be a setting to hide items. I don't know. I don't know if it is, but yeah, I think the internet is just like, if we're crashing every time we try to join, it's not realistic to just keep playing. I think we are probably just going to have to call it a day at some point. I know it's a little bit early for this stream. I generally go a little bit longer, but until this internet gets figured out, I don't see too much fun in actually playing with this lag, because it is pretty bad. Actually, okay, I want to go take a quick conversion of those to items, because I know I'm starting to run a little bit low probably on some loot gum and definitely on some X gum, so I do want to do some off-stream grinding at some point on this count for the flames, just so I have a good idea of how much flames you get for like a free-to-play account. Three enchanted loot gum. That about makes up half of what I used. And yeah, on stream is just not super consistent, the amount of gums I get. Actually, is there any other things I could... Ow! I am sorry to anyone else who heard that. That was a weird audio glitch. I think that was a vacuum lag starting up. Oh my goodness. We'll move out of there. I think that was a vacuum lag starting up. Let's not go back there. Yeah, that was, I have never heard that one before. That one was new to me. I do want to see if there is anything we could do that's interesting. Because... Actually, no, lag's been... Every time I say this, it crashes. I should stop saying stuff about the internet. It's not going to work. It's not been working. Actually, we did buy a few more key drives. Oh, and we do have a gum loot bag. That's worth opening. Actually, yeah, 10 glitchy X gum, 1 enchanted lucky gum. Not bad. Got us some enchanted loot gum at least. Gum merging? No. The one thing I will do or I've been thinking about doing is splitting up gums even more. Right now there are 3 different kinds of boosted, cosmetic, and normal gum. I've been thinking about merging it out so that you have like ability gum, or to separate out normal gum to have 2 different ones of movement gum and then ability gum or something like that. Like, so you can use nitro gum at the same time you use like a loot gum or something like that. I know it completely erases the point of having nitro loot gum, but you know, no one really uses enchanted nitro loot gum. This way that you go ahead and use something like loot gum at the same time you're using like basic nitro gum and get the same effect. It would be a little bit more jank to go ahead and use it, since I've been thinking about it. I'm not 100% set on it, but it would make it better for I think a few people. It wouldn't be game breaking like being able to use something like loot gum and X gum at the same time. But yeah, it's just something I've been thinking about. Oh, if you're meaning merging like into a better gum, no. Yeah, I know I said I was going to end the stream. We are not ending the stream. Internet's fixed-ish, so I don't... I'm just going to go grind for some more stuff until I crash again, I guess. The thing that always gets me in Remnant Zone is that the hand of cards, like there is this deck of card, I don't know what it's called. And it doesn't, the item that it drops, I always think that it's going to be like hands of cards because I know that's another drop in Remnant Zone. It's not, it always, every time I see those ghosts, I'm thinking, oh, I'll get some hands of cards. It's the only thing I can think of when I think of that area is the hand of card item. It's kind of bad. Oh, talking about difficulty curves. It's interesting whenever people talk about like difficulty curves, like difficulty getting easier or harder as you get further into it. Because generally people expect it to get like harder the farther you get into something. But like, that also, like having the hard stuff right at the beginning and then easier stuff does make it, in some sense, like I see this with speedrunning a lot. If something really difficult is right at the start of a run, it's a lot more bearable in some respects, but it's also more annoying in some respects because you have to do it every single time. Like if it's a long cutscene, people complain. But if it's a really hard trick, it's better to have it at the beginning so you don't have to do it at the end of a run or whatever. But yeah, it's... And I think in the end it doesn't matter, it's all psychological where you have the difficult stuff. It adds for the most part, just because like overall you're going... I don't know, not... Actually, at the beginning it's technically easier, but... Yeah, the amount of discussion I see about people like complaining about where the difficulty stuff is. Like people will complain if it's too long at the beginning or too long at the end. I think yes, there is definitely having it at the end is worse for difficult stuff, and then having long stuff at the beginning or it just kind of feels unnecessary. But yeah, I see this with speedrunning. I know one game I watched somewhat, like Trackmania, one of the maps there, it's, you know, they're a much bigger YouTuber than me, so fair show most of you guys would probably know. But it's like having the difficulty rate at the end definitely makes it easy to get into it, but it does make it quite a bit harder when you start getting far into it to get to a hard part and then crash or whatever, and then have to do all the easy stuff again. Oh, this is not the correct machine. This is the correct machine. Okay, how much items do I need to add? This is 31. I need to add like 15, 17 items or so. Yeah. Alright, we're gonna go ahead and insert those, and then we're gonna... Ooh, enchanted lucky gum? Thank you. Oh, that was actually a really weird set of gum. I know we only have like 400 advanced parts, but I'm getting... Yeah, from what I'm seeing with this, it's kind of hard to get playtesting and testing, I think, because there is right now kind of an issue, at least I see as an issue. When I first was a tester, data saving was, like, every time you played it in testing, stuff would save, but, like, years ago now, it was sort of turned off because every once in a while there was game-breaking stuff in testing, and it was sort of a mess to deal with, whatever. So kind of data saving got turned off. But now it kind of is one of those things where testers, it's kind of hard to have testers test just because, like, if they do... But yeah, as I was saying, with data saving off in testing servers, it's kind of hard to actually have, like, people test and stuff. So I might in the future bring it back. It does cause some corruption issues where people are unable... Not unable to join, but, like, some stuff gets, like, reset. For instance, having this Incinerator out early for testing, like, having saving on for that would have been kind of broken, since some of the stuff was either cheap or not working or weird or whatever. So yeah, there's pros and cons to having it on and off. I think it definitely encourages people to play a bit more if it is on, but that's always up for debate. But yeah, I can definitely see after playtesting it for a bit that some of the stuff could probably be cheaper. I think Boosted Gum and even maybe Streak Loot Bag are decently priced. This is more expensive. And also, like, even with this current shop system, not too much bad will happen for making stuff more expensive just because it is already a daily rotation. So it doesn't feel like... It doesn't feel as bad as, like, making other stuff more expensive or not, so... Yeah, we'll see. Anyways, I think looking at it from this account's point of view, it's actually not as good as I was expecting. I was expecting it to be usable. I think part of that is the amount of lag I have while grinding items on this account. And also, like, the fact that boss drops and the other stuff that you buy aren't actually really progression-based stuff yet. It definitely feels weird to have the Incinerator. Even though it is quite a bit better than the old system, I still think it probably could use some tweaks, like making stuff cheaper, maybe increasing some other stuff. I don't know. It's something that will get balanced as time progresses. I think the one thing that could be interesting on this gun is actually as a source of gems. Actually, no, probably not. It's not a horrible source of gems, but I don't think it's going to be better than any of the other methods that this gun has access to. But yeah, it's not really intended to be a source of gems. I try to balance it so it would be something that maybe a few people would be able to actually use, but it's definitely not the point of items to be converted to gems. I'm gonna go take a quick look at what we have. Yeah, pretty much just grinding in Remnant Zone for currency. Or doing some boss grinding. Oh, we did buy a bunch of forced boss chests. That is actually something that I can use. I just realized, since we are missing the, oh, we bought Wild West boss chest? Whatever. We are missing the pets for our index. Actually being able to, like, log in every single day for 10 boss chests for like 2 minutes of grinding, 3 minutes of grinding isn't going to be actually bad for this account. We could actually make some decent use out of that, trying to get some of these. Okay, crit keys are not tradable. But yeah, trying to get use out of the Incinerator for these. I don't think we'll actually ever end up getting any. Maybe we'll get one if we get lucky, but yeah, getting the boss drops or mini boss pets is kind of annoying for progression, especially when you don't have like 2 times boss drops. Anyways, I actually I think I'm debating on doing some more bosses. So either a Remnant Zone for Remnant Guardian or Ghost World for Great Guardian. Just to get a little bit because I'm missing 3 godlies there, 2 from the Remnant Guardian, and then the carpet. What's it called? Floating carpet, magic carpet from Great Guardian. And so grinding those bosses could give us a little bit of more progression. Honestly, I think the next step on this account specifically is rebirthing. So I might start that in like a couple of videos or a couple of streams. I don't know. I don't actually have a good plan for that yet. Yeah, that's exactly what I clicked. Yeah, I don't know. I think overall it'll probably be best just end this stream here while it's somewhat watchable before it devolves too much, because I can't think of too much else to do at the moment. All I'd really do is either grind flames or grind some bosses. Anyways, I think we're going to go ahead and end the stream today. I plan on, I think, maybe trying to log in at least once a day for a while on this account, just to buy some of the cheaper stuff from the Incinerator every day and get some login rewards, because those are pretty nice. And maybe also doing a bit of off-stream grinding just to see how much flames you actually get like per minute as a free-to-play without the stream lag that I have right now. And then maybe once I do get tired of that or whatever, I'll see about actually going ahead and starting rebirths on this account, because I think that is pretty much my next step. I'm looking at all the stuff that I have for progression left, and it's pretty much just offline grinding. So yeah. Yeah, I mean, I had a lot of internet issues. Honestly, I'm surprised I haven't crashed in like the last 5 minutes. But yeah, I didn't really have a clear plan for today's stream. I was going to check out the Incinerator, and I have. So I've pretty much done all I plan to do this stream. And honestly, I kind of want to do some programming for Ghost Simulator, because the next update will be another bigger one. So ending the stream early so I can go work on that, and I'll also do some video stuff like my update videos. Stuff I'm not planning on doing. But yeah, thoughts on the Incinerator. I think it could be a little bit lower prices. Some of the pricing I think is good. Other pricing though I think is a little bit too expensive, like specifically boss drops. But yeah. Overall though, I think it's definitely, I like how it turned out, especially with how the UI actually ended up looking. But anyways, thank you guys for coming out. I will hopefully have a video out later today for the actual update video. I started recording that yesterday and editing it yesterday, so I'm putting a little bit more work into that, trying to get rid of the ums, because I have realized that I add a lot of ums, us, and other filler words into when I talk. You guys might have noticed that I've been taking a little bit more pauses. I've been trying to be a little bit more conscious about removing those filler words, so hopefully you guys noticed that this stream. I've tried. It actually isn't as hard as I was expecting. I haven't done too many on accident. If you guys are wondering, if you guys have been thinking I've sounded weird, that's probably why I've been sounding weird today, is because I've been trying to think about not saying but yeah. Anyways, thank you guys for tuning in. I will see you guys later today with that update video.